Okay, let's do this. So this video, I'm doing the Pahang state paper. So it's Kertas 1 Pahang punya state paper for Addmaths 2022. So let's skip the formulas. So we will skip all this and go to question number 1. Alright. Okay, question number 1. This is differentiation punya soalan. So let's write down the soalan. It is given that y equals to 2x power 3 minus 6x squared minus 18x plus 4. Find a, the value of dy dx when x equals to 2. So what you do is you find dy dx. 3 times 2, how to differentiate? Power times number and then power minus 1. So power times number, 3 times 2 is 6. Power minus 1, 2. Same thing, power times number, 2 times 6, 12. And then power minus 1, so x power 1. Differentiate negative 18x is just negative 18. Differentiate 4 is 0. So that is the answer. But they say find value of the x when x equals to 2, right? Means after you differentiate, you have to ganti x equals to 2 inside. So your dy dx will be what? Will be 6x squared minus 12x minus 18. So when x equals to 2, let's do this. We cannot do times 6 first. We have to do power 2 first. So 2 power 2 is 4. 4 times 6 is 24. 12 times 2 is 24 plus, minus 18. So you will end up with negative 18. Okay, you can use your calculator to help you. So that's how you do. That's how you do A. Okay. Okay, let's go to B. Hence determine its maximum point. So it means they want to find turning point lah. So how to find turning point? Okay, let's talk about application for differentiation. The application of differentiation. And how many application you have? I hope you know this. There is 5. 5. And I'll tell you what comes out the most in exam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first one is we learn how to find tangent normal. This is the type of question where they ask you to find gradient tangent, gradient normal, equation tangent, equation normal. And then the next one is when they ask you to find minimum ataupun maximum ataupun TP, turning point, ataupun stationary point. These all they have the same meaning lah. Okay. So whenever you see this, what you will do is you will take the dy dx equals 0. Okay. When they ask you to find minimum point, maximum point, turning point, ataupun stationary point. The third one is rate of change, ROC, rate of change, or in Bahasa Melayu kadar perubahan. The next one is small change ataupun approximate change. In Bahasa Melayu is perubahan kecil, and then the last one is limit. Okay, so far I do a lot of trial paper already, but so far the limit punya soalan so far don't have lah. Okay. So far all the state paper I do so far tak ada lah dalam paper 1. Yang ada selalu is this one. This one comes out the most actually. The rate of change. So make sure you know how to do this one lah. And then the small change, approximate change also got come out. I think one time lah sekali. I forget which state already, but in one of the state paper I do got come out this one, small change, paper 1. So tangent normal is the one yang you kena tahu pasal apa, like find equation, find gradient tangent, find gradient normal, that one lah. Okay. And then what about this one, minimum maximum turning point? This one in here lah. This is the one lah. Okay. In this paper, in the Pahang paper. So hence determine maximum point. So it's under this one lah. Right. So you need to know if they ask you to find maximum point ataupun minimum point ataupun turning point, you kena ambil the GF equals 0. Means you take the gradient curve equals 0. Means you take the dy dx equals 0. So what you do is you already know your dy dx is this. So you just take 6x squared minus 12x minus 18 equals 0. Bukan ambil negative 18 equals 0. Bukan. You have to take the dy dx yang in terms of x punya. Because then only you can find x. Alright. And the x that comes out, that is the x coordinate of the turning point. Because they want to find turning point, right? They want to find coordinate, right? So the x that comes out, that will be the x coordinate. Okay. But if you look at this, how many x answer will you get? You will get 2, right? Why you will get 2? Because this is a quadratic. It means got 2 turning point lah. It means got two turning point lah. Okay. Okay, tak apa, let's get the 2 answer first. Okay, before I press calculator, everything can divide by 6. So let's divide by 6. Divide by 6 is 2. Divide by 6 is 3. So can you see you will get 2 answer? X equals something, x equals something. Let's press. So I'll press mode degree 2. So A is 1, B is negative 2, C is negative 3. So I end up with 3 and negative 1. So that is the x coordinate of the turning point. So atas you will write what? X, if it's positive 3, you write minus 3. If it's negative 1, you write x plus 1. So this is your x coordinate of turning point. But why got 2 answer? Because got 2 turning point. Because look at this equation. This is not a quadratic equation. This is a cubic equation. Means your curve looks like this or like this. It means there's one turning point, two turning point, one turning point, two turning point. Means one will be minimum, one will be maximum. The graph cannot have two minimum point. It's impossible to have two minimum point ataupun two maximum. Mesti satu minimum, satu maximum one. For cubic lah, for yang power 3 punya equation. That's why I got two answer. It means one of these is the x coordinate of the minimum point and another will be the x coordinate of the maximum point. And my job is to see which one is maximum because they want the maximum, not the minimum. So how can I know which one is maximum? I cannot just choose like, oh, this one is 3 is bigger than -1, so that must be the maximum. You cannot choose like that one. You have to use the second derivative. Do you remember second derivative? If your second derivative, the d2y over dx2 is bigger than 0, then it's a minimum. And the d2y dx2 is smaller than 0, it's a maximum. And I remember when I teach this in class, I say the second derivative is like a tester. It's like a litmus paper. You use it to test whether it's a minimum or maximum. And how do you test? First, you need to get your second derivative first. So this one is what? The one I circle now. This is the dy dx, means differentiate sekali. So what about the second derivative? Means differentiate this sekali lagi lah, because second derivative means differentiate dua kali. So this one is differentiate sekali. What if I differentiate this again? Differentiate 6x squared is 12x. Differentiate negative 12x is negative 12. Differentiate negative 18 is 0. So you end up with this. So this is the second derivative. But I want to test whether which point is maximum, which one is minimum. So how can I do it? You ganti x inside lah. So what I will do is I will write d2y over dx2 equals to 12x minus 12, and then I will ganti again d2y over dx2 equals to 12x minus 12. This one I will ganti with x equals 3. This one I will ganti to x negative 1. So when I ganti, what happens is I will see whether it's bigger 0 or small 0. So 12 times 3 is 36. 36 minus 12 is 24. This is bigger 0. Obviously, this is minimum point. Then this must be maximum already. Because if this is minimum, then this must be maximum already. It cannot have two minimum one. So let's try negative 12 minus 12, negative 24, smaller than 0. Okay, it's really a maximum point. It means I will reject the x equals to 3 answer. Okay, why? Because the soalan never asked you to find coordinate of minimum point. They ask for maximum point. So what I will do is, I already know my x coordinate of the maximum point is -1. Okay, 3 is also the x coordinate, but it's the x coordinate of the minimum point. So -1 is the x coordinate, but you still have to find the y coordinate, right? Because you have to find the full coordinate. So what I will do is I will ganti when x equals to -1, you ganti into the original equation. Not this one. You don't ganti to this. You want to ganti to the original equation, means this one, because I'm trying to find the y now. The y coordinate. So y equals to what? 2x power 3 minus 6 bracket square minus 18 bracket plus 4. So ganti 1, ganti 1, ganti 1. So 1 power 3 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 power 1 is 1, 1 times -6, -6, 1 times -18 plus 4. Let's press. 2 minus 6 minus 18 plus 4. So let me press. Okay, I got -18. Okay, -18. So wait, did I do something wrong here? -1, right? Oh, this one is -1 lah. Sorry. This one is -1, -1, -1, not +1. Sorry. So let's change a bit. So if it's -1, then it will be -1 power 3 is -1, -1 times 2 is -2. And then -1 squared is +1, +1 times -6 is -6. -1 times -18 is just +18 plus 4. This one, now we took out again, -2 minus 6 plus 18 plus 4. Okay, I got 14. So the coordinate for turning point, to be more specific, is maximum. Maximum. Okay, I shouldn't write like this. So I should write okay. Wait. Let's okay, so I will write dot maximum point bracket -1, 14 like this. Okay, so that's the answer. But what if they ask for minimum point? Then you can find also, because the minimum point punya x coordinate is 3, right? Then you ganti into 3 to get it. But this one, they never ask for minimum, they ask for maximum only. Okay. But there are times where they ask for both, like both maximum, minimum. Then you find for both. Okay. But this one, I just do for maximum only. Okay, let's continue. Number 2, linear law. Diagram 1 shows a straight line graph 1 over y against 1 over x. When you do linear law, always check the y-axis and the x-axis. So we can see that this is the 1 over y, this is the 1 over x. But we need to know something here. Because if we butcher the 4, 3, we cannot say this is the x and the y. We cannot say that because this is not x, this is 1 over x. And same thing, the 3 is not the small y, it's actually 1 over y. Ataupun, if you don't want to call it 1 over x, 1 over y, you can call it big X, big Y. Can also. Okay, let's do A. Express small y in terms of small x. First thing you need to know is this type of question, yeah, linear law punya soalan, they never give you equation, right? They ask you to form the equation by yourself. So you have to start with this. Big Y equals to big M and then big X plus C. Must use big Y, big X. If you use small, then it's wrong. You must use big Y and big X. And we all know the big Y represents 1 over small y. And then the big X is actually 1 over small x, right? But I don't want to guarantee that first. I want to focus on finding the M and C first. The big Y and big X, I always tell students to ganti last. So M and C is what is the important information. So how to find the gradient of straight line? -3 minus 3 divide by 1 minus 4. And then you will get -6 over -3, which is 2. So we all know now is big Y equals to mx plus c. M is 2, and then big X plus C. But the C don't have, but it's okay. I can gantikan any of this point. So passes through which point? You can use the 4, 3 lah. Actually, you want to use that 1, -3 also can. And be careful, when you ganti 4, you ganti inside where? You are ganti inside big X. Means you will ganti the whole big X, ganti 4. And then the whole big Y, you will ganti 3. That's how you do it. Okay. But some students, they will make this mistake where they will they won't write the big Y. Instead, they write 1 over Y equals to 2, 1 over X plus C. They will write like this. And then when they ganti the 3, they will ganti like this, 1 over 3, which is wrong already. Because the 3 is not Y. The 3 is the 1 over Y. It's actually the whole thing. The whole thing is 3, not just the small y. That is why you have to be careful. So let's continue. Your C equals to 3 minus 8, -5. So now your equation is big Y equals to 2x minus 5, but it's still big Y, big X. So now only I will change to the big Y, I will change to the y-axis, 1 over y equals to 2 times the big X is the x-axis 1 over x, which is 2 times 1 over x, which is 2 over x minus 5. Can you see now I use the small letter y and x already because I already changed this. So if you do like me, then you will not salah. Because I always have this habit. I always try to change the big Y, big X to, I always change to the small y, small x after I find the gradient y inside. Then only I ganti. But the soalan ask us to express y in terms of x. Means this is not over yet. I still have to make y single. I want an equation to be y equals. So how can I do that? I can terbalikkan this one, right? If I give you something over something equals something over something, you can terbalikkan here, but you have to make sure you terbalikkan here also lah. Then can. But you also have to make sure the other part of the equation must be a single fraction. Then only you can terbalik. So if you look carefully here, the 2 over x minus 5 is not a single fraction yet. So why not we make them into single fraction? How to make this into single fraction? Just take the -5 times x. Now, because you do that so that the denominator summer, now it becomes a single fraction. Now you can terbalik. So what happens when you terbalikkan 1 over y? It will become y over 1. But over 1 no need to write lah. Okay. And here also you will terbalikkan, it will left with x over 2 minus 5x. And that is the answer. This is the answer. Because they want y in terms of x. So ini jawapan dia. Let's go to soalan B. Soalan B says what? Find the value of x when y equals to 3. So let's do it here. When y equals to 3, small y equals to 3, find the value of small x. So why not we just use this equation? So 3 equals to x over 2 minus 5x. So how to find x? First, I can hilangkan fraction. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times -5 is -15x equals to x. 6 equals to -15 jadi plus 15. 1 plus 15 is 16. So 6 over 16, 3 over 8. Okay, so the answer is x over 2 minus 5x and 3 over 8. Okay, number 3. Information below are about vectors A and B, but they give you in a coordinate vector punya form. Why I say coordinate vector? Because if they write in like this, like a column, then you know it's a coordinate vector. This is 3i minus 2j, this is 1i plus 8j. But they want you to find unit vector of 2a minus b. If you want to find unit vector, the formula is 1 over magnitude times with the vector. But it has to be, the vector has to be in terms of ij. And when you find magnitude also, you need the vector in terms of ij, or else you can't do. So why not we find the vector in terms of ij first. So 2a minus b, I want in terms of ij. So how to get it? Well, you just ganti lah, because they already say a is 3i minus 2j. But let's use the bracket punya cara tulis lah, because they give in bracket, right? So 2 times 3 is 6, 6 minus 1 is 5, 2 minus negative 2 is negative 4, minus 8 is negative 12. Rupa-rupanya this vector in terms of ij is 5i minus 12j. But I did the magnitude, because if you want to find unit vector, you need the magnitude. So what is magnitude of 2a minus b? Well, the formula is square root bracket square plus bracket square, just like the Pythagoras theorem. And then masukkan 5, masukkan number negative 12. Now you will get square root 169. Now you will get 13. So the magnitude is 13. But I still have to find unit vector. So finally, I can go find unit vector in what direction? In direction 2a minus b. In direction 2a minus b. Okay, the formula is 1 over magnitude, which is 13. I found already, times with the vector, but not 2a minus b. I already say you have to times with the vector, but the vector have to be in terms of ij, which is 5 negative 12. So that's the answer. But if you want to expand, can also. So when you expand, it's 5 over 13, and then negative 12 over 13. All right? So that's how you do it. That's the answer. Okay? Let's go to question B. So question B says what? Vector u and vector v are non-zero and non-parallel. Okay, the moment you see the word non-parallel, no need to think already. Just take the coefficient equals 0. Okay, so let's see. H plus ku equals to h minus k plus 2b, where h and k are constant. Find the value of h and k. So remember, if they say not parallel, you ambil coefficient equals 0 saja. So h plus k equals 0 because that's the coefficient of u, and then the other one is h minus k plus 2 equals 0. Don't take the v, you only take the coefficient equals 0. You can only do this when they say non-parallel. Because if they say non-parallel, then confirm like this already. And then now what you do is you do simultaneous. So simultaneous, you can also use substitution method ataupun elimination method. But let's use substitution for this question lah. Okay. Actually, you want to use elimination also can. You can bring the 2 here and then call this equation 1, equation 2, and then take equation 1 minus equation 2. Can also lah. Okay. But I will use substitution. But if you want to use elimination, can also. The answer will be the same. Okay, how to do substitution? Make the h single lah. Plus k, move there, become minus k. And then I call this equation 1, I call this equation 2, and then I write substitute 1 into 2. So what is equation 2? H minus k plus 2. So h minus k plus 2 equals 0. But I already substitute h with negative k. So negative k is negative 2k. Move there, become positive 2k equals to 2, k equals to 1. But they want to find value of h and k. So not over yet. I still have to ganti balik into one of these equation to find h. So let's ganti to this equation. H equals to negative k. But I already know k is 1. So h is negative 1. So I can write my final answer. H is negative 1, k is 1. Right? So that is my answer. Okay. Number 4, let's go. This is circular measure, right? I don't know, it looks like a circular measure question to me. So let's do it. Number 4, diagram 2 shows sector AOC of a circle. Okay, where is it? AOC is a sector, but you need to know sector consists of how many lines? 3 lines. Radius, radius, arc. So if AOC is a sector, means we can obviously say that AO and OC are the radius. Okay, and this is the arc. This is the arc. It means the AO 5 cm, that's the radius lah. This is the radius. It means OC also 5 cm, means this is 1 cm. Okay. And then they say given that OB is 4 cm, so OB is 4. Okay, I can see it. And OA is 5 cm. Mana OA? Okay, this one they label already. Okay, straight away I can tell the AB can find already because this is a right angle triangle, right? And remember, in right angle triangle, you can use Pythagoras theorem ataupun Sokato, the triangle, to solve. So how to find this line? Use Pythagoras theorem lah, square root, bracket square, minus bracket square. But don't do first lah. If they ask, then only I do it. Okay, let's see A, what they want. Oh, they say use pi equals to 3.142 and then find the value of theta in radian. So find the value of theta means find this angle lah. Okay. Well, I already mentioned already, this is a right angle triangle. So what, like it's already a big hint already. With the moment you see 90 degree, and the angle is inside the right angle triangle, means you can use Sokato, right? So depan sudut, we call it opposite. Depan 90, we call it hypotenuse. The remaining one, we call it adjacent. And what do we have now? We have the adjacent and the hypotenuse. So we should use cos. Because if I use sine tangent, I will not have enough information to find the theta. It has to be cos. Because we only have the adjacent and hypotenuse. So cos theta equals to A over H, 4 over 5. Now I can get my theta. I just again shift cos 4 over 5. So shift cos 4 over 5. I change to degree minutes. 36 degree, 52 minutes. Okay. I don't have to worry about quadrant because this is obviously quadrant 1. But now they will ask for what? In radian, right? But this is not in radian because if there's triangle in front means the data will come out in degrees. So you still have to times with pi, which is 3.142, divide 180 to get the answer in radian. So what you get? Times 3.142 divided 180. Okay, I got 0.6436. Right? I always write in 4 significant figure. So that's the answer for A. So quite simple. Okay, B says what? Find the perimeter of shaded region. So if they want perimeter of shaded region, you need to take all the shaded region punya sides all add together. So got how many lines I have to add? Got 3 lines, right? The first line is AB, the second line is BC, and then the last line is CA ataupun AC lah. But I won't call it AC. I will call it arc AC. Because if I call it AC, then because like this also AC all right? But that's not the one I want. I want the arc. That's why I call it arc. But the AB and BC are both straight line. So how to find AB? I just told you just now. I told you already. You use Pythagoras, right? You can find AB by taking bracket square root bracket square minus bracket square. Why minus? Because it's the shorter side of is the pendek punya side for the right angle. And you will take the 5 square minus 4 square. So you will end up with square root 9, and then you will get with 3. Okay, but it's not over yet. You still have to plus with the BC, but BC I already know is 1, so plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. And then last one is find the length of arc AC. But we all know length of arc formula, we need 2 information, the radius and the angle in radian, because the length of arc formula is S equals R theta, right? So can I find the length of arc here? I need the radius and the theta, and I know the radius is 5. Okay, not 4, it's 5. And then the theta also I know already in radian is 0.6436. So why not I just take these 2 times together, right? So 5 times with 0.6436, but put in bracket lah. So let's press now. 5 times 5 times 0.6436. So the answer is 3.218. So this is also 3.218, and then I will just press everything lah. Everything plus together. So the answer is 7.218 cm. That's how you do it, right? Oh, and by the way, you cannot use the length of chord formula for this question because there's no chord. Okay, this is not a chord. Chord is, if I draw like this, then it's a chord. Okay, then only I can use the length of chord formula, which is 2r sine theta over 2. But the one is for length of chord, and there's no chord. That's why you cannot do that. Number 5, given that the ratio of 18 term to the 6 term in an arithmetic is 3 to 1. So T18 ratio T6 is equals to 3 ratio 1. Okay, and it's an arithmetic. And then calculate the ratio of the sum of first 12 terms to the sum of first 4 terms. So S12 ratio S4 equals to don't know. Okay, so I think I should start from here lah, right? I should start from the information. Okay, this one later I'll try to find. So we all know this is arithmetic, and what's the in arithmetic? What's the Tn formula? A plus n minus 1d, and then what about Sn? N over 2 big bracket 2a plus n minus 1d. This is the formula. So if I say T18 means what? It means a plus 17d lah. Okay, and then if I say T6 means what? A plus 5d lah. But I got mentioned before, this ratio can change to like a fraction one. So if I say T6 means, if I say T18 ratio T6 means T18 per ataupun over T6. So like this. And then the 3 ratio 1 is actually 3 over 1 like this. And now what I can do is I can cross multiply because something or something or something or something, right? So 1 times A is A, 1 times 7D is 7D. 3 times A is 3A, 3 times 5D is 15D. And then I can move the plus A go there so that it becomes minus A. What is 3A minus A? 2A. And then what is 15D? Pindah. Jadi minus 15. 17 minus 15 is 2D. And then I can pindah the 2 also. So I'll just end up with D equals to A. It means my A and D is the same value. Is the same value. So now I think I can do this. Since I want S12 ratio S4 means I will get S12 over S4. Because ratio is like fraction, so I can do that. So what is the formula for Sn? Well, it's n over 2. So for this case, it's 12 over 2. And then big bracket 2a plus n minus 1d. But we all know n minus 1 is 11. And then the d, I can just muscle a, right? because I already know my D and A is same value. Actually, you want to write D also can lah, but if you write D, then there will be two unknown. Then you can't simplify later, right? Because if there's two unknown in the equation, it's very hard to do. So why not you just make it into A suggest? And because I already know A and D is the same value, that's why I can do that. What about S4? Same thing, n over 2, 4 over 2, big bracket, 2A plus n minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3, and then D. But don't write D because you already you want the answer to be easy to simplify. So just write A. And because the reason why I can do that is because D and A is the same value. So now I will get what? 12 divided by 2 is 6, right? So it will be 6 times with 13A, and then this will be 2 times with 5A. And then I will end up with 6 and 2 can cut, so we just left with 3. Okay. Let's not cut lah. Let's not cut. I think don't cut is better. I think you times inside lah. So 6 times 13 is 78A. 2 times 5A is 10A, right? And then the A and A can cut. 78 and 10 also can simplify. Divide by 2, I think. Divide by 2 is 5. Divide by 2 is 39, right? So it's 39 over 5. It means S12 divided S4 is 39 over 5. So what is the ratio then? The ratio of S12 ratio S5 is equals to 39 ratio 5 lah. Okay, because you get 39 over 5, right? So that's how you do it. All right, so that's all. Okay, number 6. Given the coordinates of A, B, and C, all give you a full coordinate. Show that the ABC are collinear by finding the area of polygon ABC. So they want you to show that the ABC are collinear. So this is A, this is B, this is C. How can I show that they are collinear? Of course, you can jawab macam tu. You can how to say, you can find the AB gradient and find the BC gradient, and then if the gradient is same, then it's collinear lah. Because if the gradient is same and B is the common point, then they are collinear, right? But they want you to show using area by finding area. So I cannot show using gradient. I have to show using area. So how can I show using area? Means the area will be 0 lah. Because let's say my point A, B, and C, they are not collinear. What do I mean by not collinear? It means when I join these 3 points, I will get a triangle, right? If they are not collinear. But if they are collinear, when I join these 2 points, I will not get a triangle. I will just get a straight line if they are collinear. But if I slightly adjust the point B, I just slightly adjust down a bit, then it's not collinear already. Ataupun I adjust A, ataupun I adjust C slightly a bit, like just adjust slightly, then it's not collinear already. Then it will look like a triangle. Then the area is not 0 already. But they ask us to show that they are collinear by finding area, right? Means the area will be 0. So let's try to find the area. And later you will get 0. And then after you get 0, you just write shown. Then can already. So we'll try to find the area equals to 1 over 2 modulus. And then -1, -3, -4, 0, -6, 2. And then repeat the first one, -1, -3. And hopefully you get 0 lah. Okay? Because if they are collinear, if they are truly collinear, then there shouldn't be loss, right? Because the loss of a straight line is 0. Okay? You can only find area for 2D shape, like circle, triangle, rectangle. If straight line that doesn't have area one. So let's see. 1 over 2 modulus, -1 times 0 is 0, plus -4 times 2, -8, plus -6 times -3, 18, minus, because change direction, -3 minus -4, positive 12. So -12 minus 0 times -0 tak payah tulis, 2 times -1, -2, so open bracket like this. So you get 1 over 2 modulus, -8 plus 18 is positive 10, 10 minus 12 is -2, -2 plus 2 is 0. So the answer is 0 unit square. Right? So they want you to show that ABC are collinear, right? So we can say that since the area of since the area of triangle ABC equals to 0, we can conclude that the points A, B, and C are collinear. Because if they are collinear, the area will be 0. But if they are not collinear, then there will be area. Because if they are not collinear, they will form a triangle. Okay, let's go to B. Diagram 3 shows a straight line. Okay, I can see it. Oh, why different? This one is 2y minus px equals 0. But this one is 2y minus px minus 3 equals 0. So it's different. It's okay. Let's keep reading. And the straight line y equals 6 minus q squared plus 5. Okay, this one is same. Intersect at point P. So if you want to find point P, how can I find it? I can take this equation and this equation do simultaneous. But I don't think that's what they want. Because what they want, express Q in terms of P. Okay, look at this small box. This small box means 90-degree, right? And whenever you see 90-degree, confirm will be using this formula, m1 times m2 equals -1. Okay, because perpendicular, right? So I don't think I need to find the point P also. They just want you to express Q in terms of P. Means what I will do is find the gradient of this line and find the gradient of this line, and then take these two gradient darab equals to -1. That's how that's the plan. But do I follow this or do I follow this? I think this one lah. Okay, so we don't follow this one. Because this one is different, right? This one is 2y minus px equals 0, but this one got -3. This one don't have. But I think you should follow this one. So follow this one. So how to find the gradient of this line? 2y minus px minus 3 equals 0. You can try to pin that to linear form. Linear form means y equals mx plus c. So make the y single, minus px become plus, minus 3 become plus 3, y equals to p over 2x plus 3 over 2. Finally, I get my gradient. My m1 is equals to p over 2. And I also need a gradient from the other line. Y equals to, let's loosen a bit, negative q squared plus 5 close bracket x plus 6. So if you look carefully, actually this one is already linear form. Y equals to mx plus c. And the m is whatever in front of the x, means the whole thing here. The negative also I have to take like this. It means this one is already in linear form actually. You just have to loosen a bit. So the m2 is actually what? Negative q squared minus 5, because there's a bracket, right? So when there's a negative outside the bracket, it will change all the sign inside the bracket. That's why it becomes like this. And now I can finally put in this formula. M1 times M2 -1. M1 is P over 2. M2 is negative q squared minus 5 equals to -1. So when you times, you darab atas or darab bawah. When you take a number darab fraction, you only darab atas. So P times negative q squared is negative p q squared. P times -5 is negative 5p over 2 equals to -1. So let's continue. They want Q in terms of P, right? Means they want Q to be single. So how to make Q single? First, hilangkan fraction. Negative p q squared minus 5p equals to hilangkan fraction, -1 times 2, -2. But I want Q to be single, right? So what I will do is, since I want to find Q, but my Q now is negative, I try to make it positive by moving it here. And then the -2, I'll move it there so that it becomes negative 5p plus 2. Okay. And then I will continue here. PQ square equals to 2 minus 5p. Okay. And then Q square equals to 2 minus 5p divide p. And then Q equals to square root 2 minus 5p over p. But please make sure you write nicely. The square root should covers everything. Okay. And there's a plus minus sign here. Okay. So that's how you do it. Okay. Let me check with the schema. Okay. Yeah. Right. So that's the answer. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, number 7. So this is integration punya soalan lah. So given integrate 5 to fx dx equals to 5. And then find the value of k if integrate 5 to big bracket 2 fx plus kx dx equals to -1 over 2. I remember I explained this question also during my last video. I think it's the Negeri Sembilan. So I will do it again here. So we need to know about these properties of definite integral. And how many properties you have? 5. I explained this in my last video also. So well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have to memorize all of it because this comes out in paper 1 a lot. In paper 2, not so much. In paper 2, they usually ask you how to find area, volume 1. But in paper 1, they will test you on this, the properties. So let's talk about all the 5 properties. The first property, integrate BA k fx dx. If there's no plus minus, it's just k times with fx. You can take out the k like this. Okay, so that's the first property. Second property, if I give you integrate BA, okay, wait, I shouldn't put the like this because if I write like this, later student will thought it's negative. So this is not negative. I'll just call it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lah. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next property. Integrate BA fx dx. I can terbalikkan this number. The BA I can terbalikkan jadi AB fx dx. But the moment I terbalikkan, I need to tambah negative. It means if originally it's negative, And then if I terbalikkan, then it become positive. If it's positive, it become negative. If negative, it become positive. Means you have to cut under. Next one, if I give you integrate BA, if I give you BA, let's think about this. Fx dx, and then plus with integrate CB fx dx. I can combine them, becomes integrate CA fx dx. Okay. So what do I mean by this? When I integrate something plus integrate something, and then if atas punya limit and bawah punya limit sama, satu atas satu bawah sama, I can cut and then left with CA. But the syarat is this. The syarat is dalam kena sama. If dalam tak sama, cannot. If this is fx, this is gx, they cannot combine. You can only combine when dalam sama, and then satu atas number and satu bawah number sama, then I can cancel. And then I just left with C atas and then A bawah macam tu. Okay. Okay. The next one is if I give you integrate BA, big bracket fx plus minus gx dx, close bracket dx. I can split this into two. I can separate this into integrate BA fx dx plus minus integrate BA gx dx. Okay, I don't have enough space, so I write down here. It means if it's integrate BA and then dalam ni other plus minus sign, I can separate into two. And when you separate, the limit will be same. Integrate BA, integrate BA. Okay. Okay, for my last property is if I give you integrate, okay, sorry, integrate AA fx dx, then it will equals to 0. It means integrate whatever lah, doesn't matter whatever inside here, and if the number here and here is same, then it will equal to 0. Okay, now we can do this question. So I will start from which information, the first one or the second one? I think I will start from the second one because I can see that there's a plus minus sign in between inside here. So I can use the fourth property and separate them. How to separate? Integrate 5 to, so 2fx plus kx, right? So I will separate into 2fx dx. Some students always, usually students will forget to write the dx one. So be careful. And then plus, why plus? Because they plus, so I put equal. And then 5 to kx dx equals to negative 1 over 2. That's how you separate it. That's why in the formula, I write plus minus, plus minus, plus minus. It means that if this is plus, then this one also plus. This one minus, this one also minus. And then now you get here. And then now I mentioned already, if there's number in k fx dx, you can put the k in front. Means the 2 I can put in front like this. And then plus equals something equals to negative 1 over 2. And I already know integrate 5 to fx dx is 5. So it will be 2 times 5, which is equals to 10. But I still have to plus with what? Plus with this, integrate 5 to kx dx. I don't think I can use this information to help me to do this because this is integrate fx. This is integrate kx. It's not the same thing. So what I can do is just integrate myself. How to integrate myself? Since this one is integrate dx, it means with respect to x, means x is the one yang saya kena power plus 1. So it will be kx power 1 plus 1 is 2 over 2, and then put the 5 to here. And now I will ganti 5 inside. 5 squared is 25, 25 over 2k. But I still have to minus with ganti 2 inside. 2 power 2 is 4, 4 divided 2 is 2k, equals to negative 1 over 2. And then now it will be 10 plus, okay, what, I forgot the k here. So now I'll press calculator and press 25 over 2 minus 2. So what is 25 over 2k minus 2k? So it's 21 over 2k. 21 over 2k equals to negative 1 over 2. Okay, I don't have enough space to read, right? So let's put a star here and then continue here. So what, this one is 10 plus 21 over 2 minus 1 over 2. So since got fraction, let's hilangkan fraction. How to hilangkan? Everything times 2. 10 times 2, 20. Excuse me. And then 21 over 2 times 2, just 21k because the 2 and 2 can cut. And then negative 1 over 2 times 2, 2 and 2 cut, left with negative 1. So 21k equals to negative 1 plus 20 jadi minus 20. Negative 1 minus 20 is negative 21. K is equals to negative 1. So this is your final answer, right? So hope you understand. So now why not we go to the B question. So diagram 4 below shows the curve y equals fx that intersects x-axis at x equals b. Let's check. This curve y equals fx intersects x-axis at x equals b. So where is the x-intercept? Obviously it's here, and at x equals to b. So yeah, so at this point lah. Okay, so we all, but we can see that this point actually we can write down, right? It's 611, right? And then what else we can also find? I think that's all. Yeah, that's all. Okay, and then see what it says. Given area of shaded region is 85. So area of shaded region equals to 85. Find the value of, okay, I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to see this. I don't care. Let's try to write down this information first. Area of shaded region is 85, right? And the shaded region is like this, right? So can I write integrate b to 0? because the shaded region is sticking, is not a floating one, it's a sticking one. And it's sticking on which axis? X-axis from 0 to b. But can I write like this? Integrate b0 and then dx, because it's using x-axis, and then y. Can or cannot? Cannot, cannot. Why cannot? Because if you look carefully, if you write like this, you are it's including here already. Means if you write like this, integrate b0 y dx is actually like this. But if you look carefully at the shaded region, it's only, it doesn't include this part. Can you see? It means I cannot write like this. And also, if you look carefully, it's not 0 to b curve tarik. It's actually 0 to 6. 0 to 6 is not the curve tarik, it's a straight line like this, yang tarik. So it's actually, you have to separate it. You cannot integrate 0 to b sekaligus. You have to integrate 0 to 6 and then plus with 6 to b. Means you have to do it separately, because only 6 sampai b sahaja yang curve tarik. 0 to 6 is not the curve tarik. It's actually a straight line yang tarik. So what you will write is, you will use this, but since this is a rectangle, why not you just do 6 times 11 like this? Because it's a rectangle, right? So you can just use the fast way. You don't have to use the integration method. And then plus with integrate, this one is from curve tarik from b to 6. But b is a bigger number, so that one you have to put atas. And then smaller number, 6 put bawah. And then you're using x-axis, so dx, and tengah-tengah is y equals to 85. But we already know y is equals to fx. So let's just write fx like this. And then 6 times 11 is 66. But 66 pindah jadi minus 66, right? So what is 85 minus 66? Let's press. Okay, I get 19. It means integrate b6 fx dx equals to 19. Now only I will focus on what they want. Now only I see what they want. So what they want? They want integrate b6 negative 11 fx dx. But if you look carefully, I already know integrate bx fx dx equals to 19. And according to properties of definite integral, if there's a number here, and then it's like times k times fx, I can letak depan, right? So why not we do the same here? The negative 11 times fx, I can letak depan like this. And then you will left with b6 fx dx. And I already know what is b6 fx dx. It's 19. So 19 times negative 11, I think it's 209. I'm not sure. So yeah, negative 209. And I will check for my A answer also. What's the A answer? Negative 1. So let me check with the schema. Negative 1, negative 209. Okay, yes. Betul. Okay, number 8. Diagram 5 shows function h. So we can see function h. So -2, when the -2 object, and then the image is 3. When 2 is the object, the image is 3. 4 object, image is 15. 6 object, image is m. Number 1 says state the value of m. So how to find the value of m? So I think first thing first is you need to know the relation. You need to know what is the relation. What is the relation between the object and the image? So -2 become 3. 2 become 3. My first instinct is to square it, because if you look at the image, they are all positive value, right? And -2, how to become 3? I think you have to square it first lah, because whenever you square it, the negative will hilang, right? When you square a negative number, the value is hilang. But it's not just square, because negative square is not 3. Negative square is 4, right? And 2 square is also not 3. 2 square is 4. So maybe you have to square first and then -1. And if you check for everyone, memang betul. -2 square is 4, -1 is 3. 2 square is 4, -1 is 3. 4 square is 16, -1, 15. 6 square is 36, -1 is 35. It means m will be 6 square minus 1, which is 36 minus 1, 35. Okay, it means the relation here is square dulu, then only -1. Okay, let's look at number 2. By using function notation, express h in terms of x. Means they want you to write the hx. In function notation means like this. You have to write the hx and then write the relation x squared minus 1, because that's the relation. Okay, so this is how you write function notation. But it's not always hx lah. Sometimes it's fx, kx, depending on the question. Depending on the soalan. Okay, let's go to question B. Okay, the following information is about the function f and the composite function f squared. So they give you fx, they give you ffx. And they did mention m must be bigger than 0. So I think this will be useful later on. Find the value of m and n. So if they give you single and they give you composite, always start with composite. Always start with composite. So let's write it down. F big bracket fx equals to 36x minus 21. And the 36x minus 21, just leave it. There's nothing to do here. What you have to do is the left hand side. So buat yang mana dulu? Buat yang dalam dulu, means the fx dalam. So dalam fx ada kan mx plus n. So masukkan. And can you see this is function f, this is also function f? So we can say that they are belong to the same function. It means I can write the mx plus n again here. But this time, be careful because the bracket x it already changed to bracket mx plus n. It means the x on the right side, the x yang belakang also I have to change to mx plus n like this. And then yang right hand side tak payah buat lah. This one just leave it saja. The right hand side nothing to do. This one is like later you compare, baru you akan buat sini. So m times m is m square x, m times n is mn, and then plus n. Now you can compare side by side because now the left hand side cannot do already, the right side also cannot do already. So you will just compare it lah. But don't pindah. The moment you pindah, wrong already. The moment you pindah, then salah already. You shouldn't pindah for this type of question. When there's so many unknowns, m, n, x, you shouldn't pindah. You should just compare side by side. So x can compare with x. So whatever in front of x, 36. Here in front of x is m squared equals to 36. So m equals to plus minus square root 36. So m equals to plus minus 6. But since m must be bigger than 0, m must be 6. Because the soalan says already, right? Remember, m must be bigger than 0, right? So since m is 6, now I can also compare yang belakang dengan belakang. So it will be mn plus n equals to negative 21. Take the whole thing. Don't just take n equals negative 21. It's the whole thing. So I already know m is 6. So 6n plus n equals negative 21. 7n equals to negative 21. N equals to negative 3. So m equals to 6. N equals to negative 3. That's how you do it. Number 9, diagram 6 shows a semicircle. Semicircle means half a circle. So we know that this is 180 degree, but in Addmaths, they usually like to ask in radian one. So 180 degree in radian is pi radian. Pi radian. So with center O and radius 10 cm. So radius OK, OJ is 10, OK is 10, OL is also 10 because these are all radius, 10, 10. And then they say OKL is alpha in radian. Where is it? OKL is alpha. Okay, before I do A, I noticed something. I noticed that OK and OL, they are both radius. Means, and then they draw a line like this. So this is an isosceles triangle. It means ada dua side yang sama panjang. Means the sudut here and sudut here must be same. So if this is alpha, this is also alpha, right? And I think, yeah, that's all. And then now let's see A, what they want. Find the length of arc KL in terms of alpha, but they did say use pi is 3.142. So how to find the length of arc KL? I think you will use this formula S equals R theta. So the arc KL equals to radius. But the radius I know is 10 already, right? But the theta, how? Can I use this theta? No, right? Because arc KL is referring to this line. KL is referring to this line. So I need the theta here. But how to get the theta here? Can I take 180 minus 2 alpha? Can, right? Yeah, can, right? Because this is a triangle, ma. So if it's triangle means if I want to find angle KOL, I will just take 180. Don't take 180, take pi minus 2 alpha. The reason is because when you find length of arc, the theta must be in radian, right? And we all know 180 degree in radian is pi. So pi minus alpha, so pi minus 2 alpha lah. So the angle here I will put here pi minus 2 alpha. So the answer will be 10 pi minus 20 alpha cm. Okay, so that's the answer. That's the answer. All right, let's go to soalan B. So soalan B is what? Soalan B, they say it is given that the length of arc JK, okay, JK is equal to the radius of semicircle. The radius is 10. The length of arc JK don't have yet, but can find later. State the value of theta in radian. Hence, find the area of shaded region. Oh, they want us to find a lot of things here. They want us to find theta. They want us to find shaded region. So let's do one by one. Let's read again one more time. Length of arc JK, okay, arc JK is equals to 10. It means, what is the length of arc JK? This one, right? This is the arc JK, right? But what is the formula? R theta. So the R is 10, but this time the theta is not the same. This time the theta is this angle here, right? Is here. Okay, because just now you are finding KL is different. This time is you are finding the other side. So this time the theta is just theta like this. So theta equals to 1 radian. Okay, and how I know this is in radian, not degree? Well, because you're using this formula, the theta automatically comes out in radian one. You don't have to worry about changing it to radian anymore. So definitely the answer is already in radian one. So that's the answer. So state the value of theta. But they also ask you to say, they also say hence find the area of shaded region. So area of shaded region. So if you look at the shaded region, it's referring to this part, right? And this is actually called a segment. because it consists of two lines, the arc and the chord. So you can use this formula, 1 over 2 r squared bracket theta minus sine theta. That's the formula for area of segment, right? So let's do this. 1 over 2 r squared. What's the r? 10. So 10 square. And then theta minus sine theta. But this theta has to be in radian. This theta has to be in degree. But look carefully. Which theta am I taking? Am I taking this theta? No lah. Of course no. Because you are finding the segment from here to here. So actually you should take this angle. This angle. And it has to be in radian, yang ni dalam radian and then in degree. So how to get this angle? Well, we already know theta is 1 radian, right? This one is 1 radian. So how to get the other side? I will just take pi minus 1 lah, which is 3.142 minus 1, which is 2.142. Okay, because this angle is actually, because one total angle is 180 in a straight line, 180 degree, and dalam radian is pi. So minus with 1 lah. But they already say pi use 3.142, that's why it's 2.142 radian. But then I have to minus with sine theta, and then this theta has to be in degree. So how to change in degree? Just take 2.142 times with 180 divide pi, which is 3.142, and then press this and get in degree minute. So let's press 2.142 times 180 divide 3.142. So I get 122 degree 42 minutes. Sorry, 43 minutes. 122 degree 43 minutes. I always ask my student to write in degree minute one. So like this. And then now press the whole thing. But I will press yang ni dulu. And I will use the answer button. So I'll just press sign answer equals. And then 2.142 minus answer equals. And then answer times 50. So 65.03. Actually it's 029, so 0.3 cm squared. Okay. So that's how you do this question. Right? Okay, let's keep going. Okay, number 10. Given the unit vector, okay, what's the formula for unit vector? I mentioned so many times already, 1 over magnitude times with the vector. But make sure the magnitude, okay, make sure the vector is in terms of ij, and make sure when you find magnitude also, you need the vector in, you also need the vector in ij. So now they say, right, given the unit vector is this, right? So let's write down unit vector for u. Oh, and by the way, this symbol, this topi symbol is symbol for unit vector. So 1 minus pi plus qj over 5. But we all know that when we find unit vector, it's 1 over magnitude times vector. So we can separate this into like this, 1 over 5, and then 1 minus pi plus qj, right? It means this is the vector lah. This is the vector. And then the 5 is the magnitude lah, right? And then they say express q in terms of p. Well, it's quite easy actually, because we already know, we know the magnitude of vector u is 5, and the formula for magnitude is square root bracket square plus bracket square. And what we do is just take 1 minus p square plus q square, and then if we keep doing it, we will get q in terms of p, right? So first pindah square dulu, square root jadi square, so 25. This one I think I'll expand it. How to expand the fastest way? First I'll take depan square. So depan square is 1, depan darab, belakang darab 2. So negative p times 2, negative 2p, and then belakang square, positive p square, and then plus q square equals to 25. But they say q in terms of p. So how? Make q single. So 25 minus 1 is 24, and then minus 2p plus p square. So q equals to square root 24 minus 2p plus p square. All right, and then put a plus minus here. I think this is the final answer. You cannot simplify this anymore, right? Yeah, it's impossible to simplify this already. So that's the answer. Okay, wait. Did I do it correctly? 1 minus p square. Negative p times 2 is negative 2p, right? And then plus p square. Okay, I did something wrong here. Plus 1 jadi minus 1. So 25 minus 1 is 24. Minus 2p should become plus, right? And then the plus p square should become minus. Okay, so I made a careless mistake here. Minus p square. So the answer would be square root 24 plus 2p minus p square, right? So is this correct? Yes. Okay, this is the answer. All right, that's all right. So number 11. Determine the value of n for this equation. Okay, there's a few formula you need to know. Actually, they ask a lot. This question in trial. I do a lot already. So let's talk about the formula that you need to know. First formula is, if I give you n factorial, you need to know that it's actually n times with n minus 1 times with n minus 2, blah, 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 until 1. So if I say 5 factorial means what? 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. If I say 4 factorial, 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, that's what it means. So if it's n factorial means what? N times n minus 1 times n minus 2 until you reach 1, right? But you can decide where you want to stop. So we can actually say n factorial is actually n times n minus 1 factorial. But of course, you can also say n times n minus 1 times with n minus 2 factorial. Can also, right? It's the same thing. So I will just write like this. N factorial is n minus 1 factorial. And then the next formula we need to know is the NPR formula, which is n factorial over bracket n minus r factorial. That's the formula for NPR. And then what about NCR? Formula is n factorial over r factorial bracket n minus r factorial. Okay, but I think for this question I won't use this one. Okay, I will just use this and this. But it's still good to know about this formula. And also this type of formula all got give in exam one. So where should I do it? Okay, I think I'll just do it here. Okay, I think this one I have to start maybe like this, and then so that I can do it here. Okay, so soalan A, n plus 2p, what is it? P3 equals to 30n, right? So let's use the NPR formula. What's the NPR formula? N factorial over n minus r factorial. N is the nombor atas, r is the nombor bawah. So nombor n factorial means nombor atas. So nombor atas is n plus 2 factorial over n minus r. It means nombor atas tolak nombor bawah. So n plus 2 minus 3 factorial equals to 30n. Now, what is n plus 2 minus 3? N minus 1 factorial equals to 30n, and then this is n plus 2 factorial. But I told you already, right? What is factorial means? It means you darab with the number before it until you reach 1. So n plus 2 factorial is actually what? It's actually n plus 2 times with n plus 1 times with n times with n minus 1 times with n minus 2, n minus 3 until you reach 1. But I will decide to stop here and put factorial here. It means n plus 2 factorial is actually n plus 2 times n plus 1 times n minus 1 factorial. But why I decide to stop here? Why not I just write like this? Why not I just write n plus 2 factorial equals to n plus 2 times with n plus 1 factorial? Because this is also correct. But why I choose to stop here? Because if I stop here, I can cut. You faham? Because now I can simplify, cut, then the factorial symbol hilang already. That's why I choose to stop here. Okay, because my eyes is looking down here. I'm trying to simplify it. I'm trying to cut it. So now I left with this lah. So it's n plus 2 times n plus 1. So if you expand slowly, you will get n square, and then n times 1 is 1n, 1n plus 2n is 3n, and then 2 times 1 is 2. But don't forget to times again with n equals to 30n. But instead of darab masuk, I think you can pindah to the other side, becomes divide. So 30n divide n, cut, just left with 30. So n square plus 3n plus 2, and then n square plus 3n plus 2 minus 30 equals 0. Because when you see square means quadratic, means you have to move everything to one side equals 0. So n square plus 3n, 2 minus 30 is negative 38 equals 0. Press calculator. Okay, let's press. Mode degree 2. A is 1, B is 3, C is negative 28. So the answer is 4 and negative 7. If the answer is 4, you have to write n minus 4 up here. Minus 7 means n plus 7 equals 0. So that's the answer. But they say determine the value of n, right? And they never put the s here. It means I can only accept one answer. So which answer? 4 or negative 7? Okay, let's imagine this. N plus 2p3. If n is negative 7, means it will be negative 7 plus 2, means it will be negative 5p3. But if you press negative 5p3, you will get math error. Do you know why? Because how can you choose how can you arrange 3 object from negative 5 object? It means the number here cannot have negative 1. Right? There cannot be negative. So the number up here and down here both cannot be negative. So rejected. So the n must be 4 then. So that's how you do it. Okay. Okay, let's go to B question. Okay, this is a legendary question. Why I call it legendary? Let's put star, star, star. So this question reminds me of SPM 2019. Okay, and when SPM 2019, it looks exactly like this. But the number is different. It's also like this. And at that time, it was a controversial question, like because no one understand what the question wants, and the question how to say, ada dua cara yang boleh buat. Okay, tak apa, I'll just explain it to you. Okay, let's read. The diagram below shows a 4-digit passcode 8772 set by Akif on his door access device in his office. So this is the 4-digit code yang kena masuk dia punya rumah, office. So 8772, he have to click this, then only he can go in. But what if he press 877, what if he press 8277 ataupun 8727? Then cannot lah, cannot. Because passcode, because the door password has to be exactly like this one, means the arrangement is important. Okay, he wants to reset the passcode. So he want to change the passcode such that the new passcode cannot consist of digit 7 followed by digit 2. So you want to change the passcode, but this time the passcode cannot have 7 followed by 2. How many different passcode can be formed? Okay, now this is the problem. When he's trying to reset the passcode, is he just using these 4 digits, or it can include other digit like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's what caused everyone to, how to say, lose their mind because they don't know whether you can use the other digit or not. But if you think in terms of common sense, like if you use logic, right? If someone break into your house, right, and you want to change your passcode, you will just use any digit you want, right? It doesn't have to be 8. It doesn't have to consist of the digit that you used previously. You can just change to whatever you want, right? Like 5, 6, 7, 9 or whatever lah, okay? Or not necessarily digit yang last time you used, if you fikir logic lah. But the soalan never mentioned, the soalan never mentioned. So I don't understand whether the soalan is saying he wants to reset using these 4 digits only, ataupun I can use any digit I want. So at first, when I do this question, I assume that I can use any digit I want. Means I can use 9, 7, 5, 4. Okay, and the 7 cannot follow by 2. And I do it like that. But then when I check the schema jawapan, that's not how they do it. They do it differently. So I'll just show you the SPM 2019 soalan. Okay, wait for me. Let me just open it. So wait, let me find the folder, Addmaths. SPM 2019. Okay, it's this one. So let me open it. Okay, open this file. Okay, so I found it. Okay, this is the SPM 2019. Let me just show you the question I'm talking about. So I remember it's question, let's scroll down. I think it's question 22. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Yeah, here. Okay, so this is the question I'm talking about. This is soalan SPM sebenar. So SPM 2019. Okay, let's see. Diagram 9 shows a 4-digit passcode 0131 set by Sun on his smartphone. And then he says he wants to reset the passcode such that the new passcode cannot consist of 1 followed by 3. How many different passcodes can be formed? So if you look at this diagram, this picture, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So if I want to reset the passcode, does that mean that I can use any digit here I want, or I can only use 0, 1, 3, 1 only when I'm resetting the passcode? So that's the confusing part, right? That's the confusing part. So I will explain both methods here lah. Okay, let's forget about the Pahang state paper question and do this question. So let's say that we can use any digit I want from 0 to 9. It means if I form my 4-digit, there will be how many total ways? There will be 10 ways here, 10 ways here, 10 ways here, 10 ways here, because the passcode digit can repeat one. That's why it's 10 P1, 10 P1, 10 P1, 10 P1, 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. It means you have 10,000 ways. Okay, but then the soalan says what? Cannot consist of 1 followed by 3. It means cannot have 1, 3, 1 followed by 3. Okay, it means that when I choose this digit, it must be 1 P1, which is 1, which is one way. There's only one way to choose. And then this one also 1 P1, which is one way. But here, there is 10 ways. And then here also 10 ways. Betul? So now you will times, and then you will end up with 300 ways. Okay, but the 1, 3 tak semestinya duduk sini. It can also duduk here also possible, right? So you same here, 1 P1, 1 P1, 10 P1, 10 P1, times, you will get 100. Actually, this one is 100, sorry. Yeah, this one is 100. Okay, and then lastly, the 1, 3 can also be like this, right? Like this also 1 followed by 3. And then this one also got 100. ways, because it's one way, this one 10p1, 10p1 times, you will get 100 also. But the soalan says, right, cannot consist of 1 followed by 3. So I'm calculating 1 followed by 3 so that I can take the total minus the one yang followed 1 followed by 3, because the soalan says cannot consist of 1 followed by 3. So what I do, I calculate yang 1 followed by 3 first, and then I take 10,000 minus 100, 100 means minus 300. Okay, and then I will get the answer. Okay, but there's a detail here. There's a important thing here to take note. If I put the 1, 3 here, and I put the 1, 3 here, and here I have 10 choice, right? Means I can choose from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to from 10 digit, I can choose one. So means there's a chance where I can choose 1 here and then choose 3 here, right? It means this 100 ways is already including 1, 3, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 1, all the possibilities. It means I'm already include 1, 3, 1, 3. But if you look at this, the 1, 3 I put in front, it means this 100 ways also include the 1, 3, 1, 3 also. It means this 1, 3, 1, 3, I already kira dua kali already. It means it's actually not minus 300, it's actually 300 minus 1 first. Because the 1, 3, 1, 3, I already count dua kali already. Okay, so it should be 10,000 minus 299. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay, so 10,000, let's press minus 299. So I get 9701. So this is the answer, 9701 ways. And one more thing I want to mention is, what about like this? What about 3 followed by 1? Okay, this one boleh, because they say cannot consist of 1 followed by 3, not 3 followed by 1. Okay, so what I do is I only calculate those yang 1 followed by 3 sahaja, and then take the total number of ways minus it. Okay, we will not do for 3 followed by 1. We will just do for 1 followed by 3, and then take 10,000 minus, because they say cannot consist of 1 followed by 3. And that's the answer. Okay, but I want to explain using the other way. The other way is like this. Because this is when I can use all the digit from 0 to 9. Means there's 10, 10, 10, 10. But what if I only can use these 4 digits? I can only use 0, 1, 3, 1. And then when I'm forming my new password, I have to calculate the total ways. So what's the total ways? So it will be 4p4 lah, right? 4p4, because there's 4 slots, but there's only 4 options. It's not like just now where I have 10, right? So it's actually 4p4. But I have to divide with 2 factorial ataupun 2p2, because there's a repeating, how to say, repeating, the one repeats, right? And if you belajar in your KSSM syllabus, you know, for permutation, for repeating, you have to divide with the number of times it repeat. So if the one repeat 2 times, then you have to divide 2 factorial. But let's say if the one repeat 3 times, then you have to divide 3 factorial. So let's press this, 4p4 divide 2 factorial. I get 12. But this 12 is what? Is the total number of ways to arrange 0, 1, 3, 1. But they say the passcode cannot consist of 1 followed by 3. So if cannot consist 1 followed by 3, means I have to calculate yang 1 followed by 3 lah. Means I have to calculate for 1 followed by 3 first, then only I take the 12 minus the number of ways yang 1 followed by 3. I know the soalan says cannot consist of 1 followed by 3, but it's much more easier to calculate 1 followed by 3 and then take the total minus. So the 1, 3 can be here, the 1, 3 can be here, the 1, 3 can be here. So it's 1 times 1 times, okay, how many ways here? It's just 2 factorial lah. Because let's assume the 1 here masuk here already, and then the 3 masuk here already. So you just left with 2 digit, and then 2 here, just 2 factorial, which is 2 here. And then same thing here. This is 1 sudah masuk here, 3 masuk here, just 1 times 1. And then this 2 is just the remaining 2 digit masuk here to arrange. So it's just 2 ways also. Here also same 2 ways. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6 ways. So what is the answer? It will be 12 ways minus with 6, which is 6 ways. It means there's only 6 ways to arrange this 4 digit 0, 1, 3, 1 if you don't want it to consist of 1 followed by 3. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay, I spent a lot of time talking about the 2019. Let's go back to the 2022. So I already tell you just now, when I do this question, I do it using this method at first. I do it using this method at first. This one, the down one. Okay, this one. And this is my answer. Okay, but when I check the schema, the schema use the atas punya cara. So what I do is I will explain again using this question quickly, but I will use the atas punya cara. So 8772. Let's just assume that we can only use this 4 digit. It means he want to reset the passcode, but the new passcode also he still maintain using this 4 digit 8772. Okay, he never used 9 or like other digit lah. It means that there's no 10 option. There's only this ini saja option yang ada. Means 4 options saja. So what is the total number of ways to arrange if there's no condition? It will be 4p4 divide with 2 factorial, just like what I mentioned just now, which is 6. Sorry, 12. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Okay, so how much is 12? So it's 12 ways to arrange 8772, 8277, 8727, banyak lah. Got 12 ways. But they say the new passcode cannot consist of 7 followed by 2. So what I will do is I will draw 4 digit, cannot consist of 7 followed by 2. Means I will calculate number of ways yang 7 followed by 2. So it means the total number of ways to arrange will be 2 factorial lah. Because 7 masuk already, 2 masuk already, tinggal the 2 digit. So it's 2 digit arranged inside these 2 slot is 2 factorial, which is 2. But the 7 followed by 2 can also be here, right? So it will be also be 2 factorial, which is 2. But the 7 2 can also be here. And then this also the 2 factorial, which is 2. And then 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6, right? So the number of ways is 12. But I have to minus 6. Why minus? Because they say cannot consist of 7 followed by 2. So if the passcode is 7 followed by 2 is 6 ways. But the total is 6. So 12 minus 6 is 6. So there's 6 ways. Right? So this is the answer. What about 2 followed by 7? Yang tu tak payah. Yang tu tak payah. Because they say 7 followed by 2, right? So tak payah. Okay, I think you can just list it down because there's 12 possibilities only, right? So let's list it down. What are the 12 possibilities of the passcode? Okay, where should I write? Not enough space already. Okay, let's make this smaller and then I will explain using a way that's easier to understand. Let's put it here. So since it's 8772, means got we can just list it down all the 12 ways to arrange. So we have 8772, 8727, 8 what else? 8277, right? And then we have 8 727 sudah. Okay, start with 7, right? Okay, why not we start with 2? Okay, sudah start. Okay, why not we start with 7, right? It can also be 7872 ataupun 7827 ataupun 7782 ataupun 7728 ataupun start with 2. So 2877, 2787, 2778. And then what else I missed out on? 7, okay, 7827, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 2 more. What else did I miss here? 778. Okay, what about 7, 2? Because this one 2 belakang 2 either, right? So what about 7287? Yeah, 7287, right? Or 7278. Is 7278 here? No, right? So I think I will write the 7287 here. 7278. 7278. And then this one is 2877, right? So, betul kan? So there's 12, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is referring to these 12 ways lah. But then they say cannot consist of digit 7 followed by 2. Cannot consist of 7 followed by 2. It means I will cut those yang 7 followed by 2. So this is 7 followed by 2. This is also 7 followed by 2. This one bukan. This one also 7 followed by 2. This one bukan. This one no. This one yes, 7 followed by 2. This one yes, 7 followed by 2. This one yes, 7 followed by 2. This one no, this one no, this one no. So if they say cannot consist of 7 followed by 2, means I have to cut down all this lah. It means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why it's 6 ways. Okay. So yeah. So I spent a long time talking about this, but you know, it's important lah, because it comes out in the SPM, one of the SPM paper. So I hope you understand. Okay. All right. Number 12. This is obviously triangle. So solve the equation 3 sine square plus cos x equals to 1. The moment you see square means we can use by basic identity. And basic identity, the first one you hafal is sine square plus cos square equals to 1, right? It means if I want to find sine square, I can pindah, then it will become 1 minus cos square x, right? So what I can do is, because my equation now looks got sine, got cos, but I can make it supaya dia ada cos sahaja. Then it becomes easy to do. How to make it supaya dia ada cos sahaja? The sine square change to 1 minus cos square lah. Okay. And then when you darab masuk, you will get a quadratic. 3 minus 3 cos square x plus cos x equals to 1. You get a quadratic equation yang hanya melibatkan cos. So now you just have to move everything to one side equals 0, then you can tekan calculator. So 0 equals to 3 cos square x plus cos pindah jadi minus cos x. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Okay. I make the a positive already, yes, because I move it there. So 3 cos square x minus 2 equals 0. Now I will press calculator, I will get my cos x and I will get my cos x. Okay. But when I press, I have to press mod and then EQ degree 2. The a is 3, the b is -1, the c is -2. So I get 1 and -2 over 3. 1 and -2 over 3. So it means here I have to write cos x minus 1. Here I have to write cos x plus 2 over 3. But the over 3 I have to start the point. So cos x equals to 1. Normal case or special case? Special case. This one, normal case. Why I ask like that? Because if it's special case, you cannot use calculator. If it's normal case, you use calculator. And how many special case you have? 7. For sine and cos, the special case is +1, 0, and -1. And then for tangent, the only special case is 0. It means got 7 special case. Sine theta equals 1, sine theta equals 0, sine theta equals -1. Cos theta equals 1, cos theta equals 0, cos theta equals -1, and then tangent theta equals 0. So all those I mentioned are all special case. And I mentioned in my last video also. And you have to hafal for all of it. Like for example, sine theta equals 0, sine theta equals 1, the theta equals to 0, 180, 360, and then this one theta equals to 90, and so on. Other tujuh. I only show you 2, but got 7 special case. You have to hafal all of it. Because if you don't, you can't do. So cos x equals 1 is special case. So special case, you cannot hafal. So cos x equals to 1, the answer is what? 0 and 360. I just write it down lah, all the special case. Because actually I'm very malas. I'm very lazy to write down all of it, but let's just write it lah. Okay. So, but actually I do it before many times already. In my last video also I got do, but let's do it lah. Sine x equals 0, sine x equals 1, sine x equals -1, cos x equals 0, cos x equals 1, cos x equals -1, tangent x equals 0. So these are all the special case. So x equals, x equals, x equals, x equals, x equals, x equals, and then x equals. So if sine 0, the answer will be 0, 180, 360. Have to hafal. Sine x equals 1, 90. Sine -1, 270. Cos equals 0, 90 and 270. Cos equals 1, 0 and 360. Cos -1, 180. Tangent 0, 0, 180, 360. You have to hafal. You can't get all these values from your calculator. Some only you can get it. That's why you have to hafal. But if it's not 1 or 0 or -1 like this, then it's normal case lah. And if it's normal case, this one you can use calculator. Okay. But when you use calculator, don't tekan negative. The negative only indicates quadrant. So add sugar to coffee. Cos positive is 1 and 4. If cos negative is quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. But let's get the reference angle first. Shift cos 2 over 3. Don't tekan negative. 2 over 3. So you will get 48 degree 11 minutes. But this is not the answer yet. This is just reference angle. I have to convert to quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. So take 180 minus. So 180 minus answer 131 degree 49 minutes. And then one more answer would be 180 plus, because I wanted quadrant, so it would be 228 degree 11 minutes. So I can just write for my final answer dot 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 x equals, write all the 4 answers in ascending order. So 0 degree, followed by 131 degree 49, followed by 228 degree 11, and then followed by 360. Right? So these are the 4 answers that I need to include. Make sure you hafal all the 7 special cases. If you haven't hafal, please hafal now. Okay. So I think I can continue with the B question, right? I haven't finished yet. So yeah, there's one more question here. So let's erase this. Okay, let's continue with B question. Okay, I think I will do it here. So B question, given that sec theta equals to t and then blah blah blah, find value of sine theta. Okay, you have to draw. Because if you see that the soalan asks you to find something theta like sine theta or cos theta, you have to draw. If you can't, if you don't draw, it's very hard. You can't do it. You can't do it. So you have to draw. For this type of question, you have to draw. But for this type, why no need to draw for the first type? Because this one they ask you to find for x. If they ask you to find x, then you don't have to draw. This one you don't have to draw. But if they ask you to find something theta, okay, because this one they ask you to find angle, but this one they never ask you to find the angle. They ask you to find something angle like sine angle, tangent angle. Then you have to draw. If you don't draw, you can't do it. And this one also I mentioned so many times already in the trial. You can go watch my previous video. I mentioned this before already. So where should I draw my triangle? Is it which quadrant? So let's see lah. Sec theta is t, right? It means 1 over cos theta is equals to t. Means cos bernilai positive. But if I terbalikkan this, 1 over cos theta equals to t. If I terbalikkan this, it becomes cos theta equals to 1 over t. If you terbalikkan here, you terbalikkan here. So cos bernilai positive, right? But actually, I don't know lah, positive or negative, because the t you don't know, right? But it's okay because they mentioned here the theta must be in between 0 and pi over 2. Pi over 2 is actually 90 degree. So if it's in between 0 and 90, definitely quadrant 1 lah. It means in quadrant 1 all positive. And then tarik towards x-axis, it means this is my angle. And if they say cos theta is 1 over t, means the adjacent is 1, the hypotenuse is t. Since the theta is here, means the adjacent is here. So the adjacent 1 here. And then hypotenuse t, this is the t. It means I can find the opposite. Square root bracket square minus bracket square. Why minus? Because I'm finding the short one. So t square minus 1 square. So it's square root t square minus 1. Right? So this is the opposite. And now after I done drawing, now only I find the value in terms of t for sine theta. Now only I can find. So how to find sine theta? Opposite or hypotenuse. Opposite is square root t square minus 1. Hypotenuse is t. If I don't draw this, can I do it? Cannot lah. Cannot one. Very susah one. That's why you have to draw. And one more thing is after you write down, you should always check quadrant whether you have to tambah negative or not. Okay, for this question, you don't have to tambah negative. The reason is because it's in first quadrant, and first quadrant, everyone is positive. Okay, but if it's in second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant, you might need to tambah negative. Okay, depending on the siapa rumah siapa lah. Okay, but for this one, I don't have to tambah. Okay, the next one is tangent pi minus theta. Okay, whenever I see inside bracket got plus minus, definitely will use the multiple angle formula, the tangent A plus minus B formula, right? I don't know you remember or not. I will show you the formula. So you will scroll, I will scroll up the formula part and I will show you which formula. So you will find the tangent A plus minus B. So, okay, I found it already somewhere here. Okay, did you see it? This one. So angle plus minus angle. The formula is tangent A plus minus tangent B over 1 minus plus tangent A tangent B. So let's write this down. Okay, let's scroll down. Back to the question. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, here. Okay, here. So what's the formula? Tangent A plus minus tangent B over 1 minus plus tangent A tangent B. It means if this is plus, then here will be plus, here will be minus. If this is minus, then here will be minus, here will be plus. It means kalau atas, you baca dengan atas. If bawah, baca dengan bawah. Alright, let's come back here. So, okay, let's kecilkan a bit so that you can see it. So, tangent pi minus theta. So, what I have to write? Draw a line here. Tangent A plus minus tangent B. So, for my case, my A is pi, my B is theta. And then what I have to write? Plus or minus? Okay, this is pi minus theta. So if this is minus, then this must be minus also. And then here will be 1 plus tangent A tangent B, which is tangent pi tangent theta. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay, now I will besarkan balik and then scroll down and then solve this lah. Okay, so how to do? So tangent pi, okay, tangent pi, okay, what is pi actually? Pi is 180 degree, right? Because full circle 360 is 2 pi. So if pi is 180 degree, and what is tangent 180 degree? 0. You can tengok sini pun boleh. Tangent 180 is 0. That's why it's important to hafal the special case. Okay, so 0 minus what? Tangent theta. This one you can look from the diagram. Because that's why the diagram is very important. So what's the tangent formula? Opposite over adjacent. The opposite is square root t square minus 1. And then the adjacent is what? The adjacent is 1. But over 1 tak payah tulis lah. Just tak payah lah. Okay, so done already lah. And then over 1 plus tangent pi. Okay, tangent pi is 0 again. And then tangent theta, well, same with just now lah. Square root t square minus 1 over 1. But over 1 I won't write because no need to write lah over 1. And also, you don't have to tambah negative because it's in first quadrant. But I still mention it because it's important. You should always check whether you need to tambah negative or not. But this one, first quadrant, no need. Okay. So now I can get the answer. What's the answer? 0 minus this one. So it's just negative square root t square minus 1 lah. And then bahagi dengan what? 1 plus, okay, 0 times this is 0. So you just left with 1 plus 0 here. Because 0 times with this is 0. So you just left with 1 dekat bawah. You just left with 1 dekat bawah. But I already say over 1 tak payah tulis. So I just erase it. So that's the answer. This is the answer. Okay. Negative square root t square minus 1. That's the answer. Okay. So hope you understand. Okay, let's go into section B. So section B, they say answer any 2 questions, but they will give you 3, but I will do all of it. So let's go. For my first question, I will just do it. Where should I do it? Okay, I'll just do it here. Okay, let's go. Given a quadratic function, this one where k is smaller than 5. Okay, let's write down. Mx equals to, okay, this one I can see is in general form already, right? 8x squared minus kx. Okay, why not we just direct muscle this one? So it becomes minus 5 plus k, right? Okay, so now it's already in general form. It means my a is 8, my b is negative k, my c is the whole thing, negative 5 plus k. But you can also write it like this, right? You can also write it like this. 8x squared minus kx plus k minus 5. Can also write, it's the same thing. Okay, I never change the sign. I'm just changing the position. I just write the k in front. So my a is 8, my b is negative k, my c is k minus 5. And then it says k must be smaller than 5. I'm sure this will be useful later on, confirm. Okay, so for now, I will just write it down. Has a minimum value of negative 25 or 8. So what is minimum value? Minimum value is the y coordinate of the turning point. Y coordinate, not x coordinate. So the y coordinate of the turning point of this equation is this. And then A, they say express mx in terms of x and k in vertex form. So I have to change this to vertex form. Okay, how to change to vertex form? First, I need to make sure my A is positive 1, and then I will do completing the square. But my A is not positive 1 now, so the 8, I will take it out like this. Means everything have to divide 8, so it will be x squared. The negative k also will become negative k over 8x, and then k minus 5 will become k minus 5 over 8 like this. Okay, and now only I can start doing completing the square, because now I already take out my a is already positive 1, right? So I'll do here, so it'll be equals to 8 big bracket 8 big bracket 8 big bracket 8 big bracket. Okay, tak apalah, nanti baru saya tulis lah tu. So 8 big bracket what? X square minus k over 8x plus bracket square plus k minus 5 over 8 minus bracket square and then close big bracket. That's how you do combination square. And inside the small bracket, you have to write b over 2. And what's your b? Not negative k. You cannot tengok sini. You cannot tengok sini, which is negative k over 8. And then I have to divide 2, right? But I will just write times 1 over 2. So negative k over 8 over 2, right? But over 2 means times 1 over 2 is the same. So times 1 over 2 square like this. So now it will be 8 big bracket and then small bracket square. And I say tengah-tengah ni jangan tengok kan. So just cover that. And then the x square, the x I will write down here. Negative k over 8 times 1 over 2. Atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. You get negative k over 16. The square tak payah square because I looked up lower already. And then plus with what? K minus 5 over 8. Since there's a minus here, saya pun ikut here. And dalam yang ni kena square. So what is negative k over 16 square? Negative k over 16 square is positive k square over 256. Yeah, k square over 256. But why I write negative? Because there's another negative outside the bracket. But still not, how to say? Still not vertex form yet. Because you have to open this big bracket one. So when you open, it becomes 8 small bracket x minus k over 16 square. Now you times 8. So when you times 8, this becomes k minus 5. And this one also have to times 8. It becomes k square over the 8 and 256 can cut, right? So 32, yeah. 32 like this. So this is your vertex form. Okay. Now I already finished A. Because A, they only ask you to express this one in terms of vertex form, right? So this one lah. It means what is my turning point? The turning point x coordinate will be positive k over 16, and the y coordinate will be all of this. K minus 5 minus k square over 32. Okay. But I will erase this lah because they only ask us to convert until vertex form. So that's the answer. Okay, let's look at soalan B. Soalan B says what? Hence find the value of k. Okay, if I want to find the value of k, I will scroll down a bit and I will do it here. So how can I find the value of k? Do you remember they say the minimum value is negative 25/8? So if the minimum value is negative 25/8, it means what equals to negative 25/8? The turning point punya y coordinate lah, which is whatever written here lah. Because this one is the x coordinate yang depan. I want the y coordinate. It means k minus 5 minus k square over 32 equals to negative 25/8. It means if I keep doing here, then I can get my k. So how to get my k? I think I will first thing first is I will take I will make the bawah, I will hilangkan fraction lah, because this is over 1, right? So how to make it same? This one times 32, this one also times 32, but this one times 4. And then this one no need times already because it's already over 32. So bawah darab 32, atas pun kena darab benda yang sama. So 32k, 1 times 32, so 5 also have to times. Let's press. 5 times 32 is 160. And then this one is already over 32, so just leave it. And then this one negative 25 have to times 4, which is negative 100. Okay. Bawah times 4, atas pun kena times 4. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to hilangkan the fraction lah. That's why I samakan bawah for both sides, for everyone. Okay, now you end up with a quadratic. So quadratic means everything have to move to one side equals 0. So negative pindah jadi positive, 32 pindah jadi minus 32k, negative 100 plus 160 is plus 60. Okay, and the reason I'm moving it there is so that my A is positive. And now I can press calculator, and then I get two answers. So let's press mode degree 2. A is 1, B is negative 32, C is 60. So the answer is 30 and 2. So it means K is positive 30, so K minus 30. This one is K minus 2. But what should be my answer? Let's see. Oh, okay. Do you remember they mentioned this? K has to be smaller than 5. And I told you right just now, it will be useful later on. So yeah, this is the moment when it's useful. K must be smaller than 5. So rejected lah. This one 30. So the K value is 2, right? Because they say smaller than 5. Okay, I think I can do C now. Okay, and I'll do it here. Okay, C says if the graph of function mx intersects nx at two different points, find the range of values of p. This one also come out in which trial I forgot already. I think it's the Negeri Sembilan trial. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but this comes out a lot. I think in Negeri Sembilan. I'm not sure, but they also ask like that. They give you two equation, and then they say these two lines ataupun these two curve intersect at 2 points, and then find the range, right? So yeah, I do this. I remember doing this same type of question. So they say mx intersect nx at two different points. Okay, the keyword here is two different points. It means I will do b square minus 4ac bigger than 0. Because the keyword here is two different points. But you can't just take this equation and do b square minus 4ac bigger than 0, because if you just take this, you are ignoring the mx punya equation. So what you have to do first is you have to do simultaneous first. It doesn't matter whether these two line touches at 2 point ataupun touches at 1 point ataupun doesn't touch. It doesn't matter. If they give you two equation, you should do simultaneous. Even though they didn't intersect, also you should do you should, how to say? Yeah, you should do simultaneous. So let's write down this equation. Mx equals to what? 8x squared minus kx. But we already know k is what? Is 2, right? So minus 2x. So 8x squared minus 2x. And then minus 5 minus k. And 5 minus k is 5 minus 2. So 3. And then I already know I have to do simultaneous this equation and this equation, right? So why not I straight away write 8x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals to 7x squared plus p minus 1. Because mx is like y, nx is like y. So y equals to y. And then I write like this. And now I can pindah and change to general form. 7x squared hantar jadi minus 7. 8 minus 7 is 1x squared. And then minus 2x. And then negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2, right? But there's a key here. So it becomes negative 2 minus p equals 0. And now only I will do b squared minus 4ac bigger 0. Okay. But what if I change the question to intersect, does not intersect? What if I change? I say mx does not intersect nx. How would you do it? Same also, you will do the same method. You will also do simultaneous. But then until here, then you will do b squared minus 4ac smaller than 0. But the first step is always the same. Do simultaneous, combine the two equations. Okay, let's do it. P is negative 2 squared. A is 1. C is negative 2 minus P bigger than 0. Negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 4 times negative 2 positive 8. Negative 4 times positive 4. P bigger than 0. So 4P bigger than negative 12. P bigger than negative 3. So that is the answer. Okay, let me just check with the schema jawaban. Okay, okay, yeah, betul. Right. Okay, let's go to question number 14. All right. Okay, I'll do it here. Okay, 14. This is obviously indices. All right. So 5 power n plus 2 minus 5 power n minus this one equals to k 5 power n. Find the value of k. I think this one you need to simplify the left hand side until it look like this, and then only you can compare. But how can I simplify this? First of all, can you combine this base 5, base 5, base 5? Can you combine? No, you can't combine. You can only combine if it's times divide punya soalan. If it's times divide, you can combine terus. If base sama times the power you plus, if base sama divide the power you minus. But this is not times divide, it's plus minus. It means you can't combine. You have to use other method. What other method? You have to separate everything and then bungkus. Separate and bungkus. How to separate this? 5 power n times 5 power 2. That's how you separate. And then minus. How to separate this? This one cannot separate already. 5 power n. Just leave it like this. And then minus 125. And then how to separate this? 5 power n times with 5 power negative 2. Of course, you can also write divide 5 power 2. Okay. But in class, I already mentioned, I always prefer doing it like this. And then k 5 power n. But this one, you will just leave it. This one, you won't touch. This one, you will just compare later after you finish simplify here. Later only you will compare. So, yang boleh buat, you buat. Yang tak boleh buat, you bungkus. But look carefully how many ketol you have. Satu ketol, dua ketol, tiga ketol. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not 6 ketol. It's only tiga ketol saja yang ada. So ketol satu ketol, dua ketol, tiga ketol. So in the first ketol, 5 power n tak boleh buat. So because 5 power 2 boleh buat 25. That one you can do lah 25. And you can tulis belakang also can. It's up to you. Depan belakang pun boleh. But I usually write depan lah. But yang penting is you have to know the hubungan is times. And then 5 power n tak boleh buat, right? Tak boleh buat bungkus. And then look at this ketol now. 125 times 5 power negative 2. I think this one and this one can do. Because 5 power negative 2 is 1 over 25. So if you tekan 125 divide 25 in your calculator, you can tekan, right? 125 divided 25 is 5, right? So you just left with 5 times with 5 power n, but we all know 5 power n cannot do, so bungkus. Now look at all the bungkus. Now look at this tiga ketol. They have a similarity. Yang awak bungkus tu semua 5 power n, so they all look the same. So I can temporarily change it to a. It means 25a minus 1a minus 5a. What is 25a minus 1a? 24a. 24a minus 5a is 19a. But don't write 19a, write 19 5 power n. So now you can compare lah. So now you can compare k equals to 19. Okay. And is that what they want? Yes. Find the value of k. So 3 marks. That's how you do it. So hope you understand. Let's go to B. Express this thing in the form of this. It means they want you to simplify lah. Simplify. So first of all, I can see that there's a bracket square here. And how to expand? How to expand 4 square root 5 minus 2 square? First, you will take depan square, and then depan darab belakang darab 2, and then belakang square. That's the fastest way. So what I will write here is I will draw a line, and then I will expand this. First, I will take depan square. What is depan square? 4 square root 5 square. So what is 4 square? 16. What is square root 5 square? Left with 5. Because when you take square root, the square root and square will cancel each other. Now I will take depan darab belakang darab 2. What is negative 2 times 4 square root 5? Negative 8 square root 5 times 2. Negative 16 square root 5. Okay. For my last step is belakang square. So belakang square is negative 2 square is plus 4. Okay. So this one I can erase already. So that's what you get when you expand in atas. But I still have to over what? Square root 5 minus 1. But of course, this is not your answer yet because they still want you to simplify further until you reach here, right? So how can I simplify further? If you look at this, there's no fraction. But now I have fraction. So I think I have to rationalize. It means I have to hilangkan the square root at the denominator. But before that, I can see that atas ini boleh buat. 16 times 5 plus 4 can do, right? What is 16 times 5 plus 4? Let's press. I get 84. So you just 84 minus 16 square root 5 lah. And then now you rationalize. Now you rationalize. What do I mean by rationalize? Means you rationalize the denominator. You hilangkan square root dekat bawah fraction. It means what you will darab with square root 5 plus 1. Square root 5 plus 1. You can't just darab with square root 5. Some student thought, oh, you can just darab with square root 5. Hey, trust me, if you darab square root 5, the square root won't hilang at the bawah one. The only way to hilang is to darab with square root 5 plus 1, square root 5 plus 1. Okay. So what you will do, yang bawah is you will take depan, belakang. Square root 5 times square root 5 is 5. Belakang is -1. You don't have to, the reason why you can use this shortcut is because depan and belakang sama, satu plus, satu minus. So you can use the fast way. Just take depan, belakang. That's all. Okay. And then now later you will left with over 4. But for the atas one, you have to darab slowly lah, one by one, like the traditional way. So 84 times square root 5, 84 square root 5, 84 times 1, 84. And then -16 square root 5 times square root 5, -16 bracket 5. And then negative square root 5 times 1, -16 square root 5. All right, like that. Okay, can you see this 84 square root 5 and -16 square root 5? They are both have square root 5. It means these two terms is a similar sets. Okay, they are both similar sets. So I can anggapkan square root 5 sebagai A and then just do 84A minus 16A. What is 84 minus 16? So 84A minus 16A is 68A. So this is 68A, but don't write A, write square root 5. And then 84 minus 16 times 5 can press also. 84 minus 16 times 5 is 4, right? 44. So that should be the answer. But I still can simplify lagi because over 4 means this one 68 square root 5 divide 4, and then this one also divide 4. And then you can cut left with 1, cut left with what? I think you can divide by 4. Can 68 divide 4? Let's press. 68 divide 4. Oh, can 17. So 17 square root 5. So is this your final answer? Let's see. Express this one in this form. So this is the answer lah. Okay. But what if they ask you to find value of P and Q? Then you have to write P equals 17, Q equals to 1. Okay. But I don't think you have to write this. For this one, I don't think you have to write that because they never ask you, they never say find the value of P and Q. They just ask you to write in this form. So I think I can stop here. Okay, for my last question, C, they say what? Given log P base 3 equals to M, okay? And then express in terms of P for log square root P base 3. Okay, this is very easy. So what I have to do is I have to try my best to change this to what? To log P base 3 ataupun log 3 base 3 because log 3 base 3 is 1. But if you check the base is already same already. So we don't have to worry about the base. We just have to try to change this square root to power 1 over 2 and then power boleh letak depan. So it's just 1 over 2 log 3p and then log 3p is M. So that's the answer. Okay, quite easy, right? So that's how you do it. Okay, finally. Okay, question 15. So this is the last question in this paper. X is a discrete random variable with X, B, and P. Okay, I do want to mention this. If they write X, B, then you have to know this is N, this is P. The number in front represents N, this is P. P is probably a success. But what if one day they write like this? Z, and then they write N here. Then you need to know this will be the mean, this will be the variance. Okay, but this one is for normal distribution. Yang atas is for binomial. That's why they use B. B stands for binomial and the N stands for normal. And if they write in normal, this will be the mean, this will be the variance. Okay, because sometimes they will give you like this, they will give you Z and then N, they will give you, let's say, 3, 5. Okay, so you have to know lah, the 3 is the mean and the 5 is the variance. Okay, so yang tu kena tahu. Okay, let me erase this. Okay, let's keep reading what the question says. Okay, what the question says. X is a discrete variable with this one. Table below shows the probability distribution of X. So we can say that Px equals 0 equals to 6 over 125. And then Px equals 1 is 36 over 125. Px equals 2 is, it's just K, so don't know. And then Px equals 3 is 64 over 125. And then they say find the value of N, K, and P. So they want you to find 3 things, N, K, and P. Okay, first of all, I know the N is 3 because N will be the maximum value of X because the X can be 0, can be 1, can be 2, can be 3. And the N is the total number of trials. So 3 lah. 3 is the answer. Okay, so now I get my N already. What about K and P? How to find K and P? Okay, K is quite easy to find also because total probability must be 1, right? So I can just take 1 minus 6 over 125 minus 36 over 125 minus 64 over 125. I think it's 19 over 125. Let's try. Okay, yes. I just press my calculator. I get 19 over 125. Now I just left to find P. So how to find P? I have my N, I have my K. How to find P? Okay, P is probability of success, right? So I think you can, how to say, use any of this to, how to say, to find P. But I think I will use this because I usually like to use the x equals 3 because when I use x equals 3, I'll show you. So it will be what? NC3, right? Which is 3C3 bracket bracket probability of success, which is P, and then probability of failure. But probability of failure, I don't know, right? So how if I don't know? Just write Q lah, equals to what? 64 over 125. But it's okay. Even if I don't know this, it's okay. Because do you remember the power here will be same with down here, which is 3. And then the power here will be 3 minus 3, which is 0. It means I can cancel this, I can cancel this. That is why I choose this to do. If I choose Px equals to 2 ataupun Px equals to 1, I will struggle during here because I don't have P, I don't have Q, and this one is power 1 ataupun power 2, depending on which one you use. And then I will get stuck already because I don't have uh, the P and I don't have the Q. But if I use this, I can cancel out those. Then I just left with P power 3 equals 64 over 125. So P equals to cube root 64 over 125. And then P equals to uh, 4 over 5. Right? Betul, express shift square root 64 over 125. Yeah, 4 over 5. So now that's the answer. So dot 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 n equals to 3, and then k equals to 19 over 125, p equals to 4 or 5. They ask us to find n, k, and p, right? So that's the answer. Okay, let's go to b. X is a discrete random variable if x binomial, this b stands for binomial, and p has a mean 3. Okay, write down. Mean equals to 3, variance is 0.75. So this is the symbol for variance. And then find the value of n and p. Okay, quite easy. Mean formula is n times p. Variance formula is n times p times q. But so far, I don't have any of this yet. I don't have n, I don't have p, I don't have q, but it's fine because I know n times p is 3. It means this one is 3 times q equals to 0.75. So q equals to 0.25, but q is probability of failure. So if I have my probability of failure, I can find probability of success. 1 minus 0.25 is 0.75. So if I know my p, I can ganti balik here, equals to 3. So n equals to 3 divided 3, 0.75, which is 4. Okay, but the soalan asks for n and p, right? So this is the n, this is the p. That's all. What about question 2? They want to find px equals to 2. I will use this formula, ncx p power x q power n minus x. But I already know my n is what? 4. So 4cx, but my x is 2. And then bracket, bracket, probability of success. What's probability of success? 0.75. Probability of failure, what is it? 0.25. And the power here will follow whatever down here. So 2, and then 4 minus 2 is 2. Press this, it will get 0 point something. That's the answer. 4 shift divide 2 times with 0.75 square, and then times 0.25 square. Okay, let me press wait, 0.2109. Okay, 0.2109. Okay, finally I'm done. Whew. Okay, bye bye.